Hello and welcome to another SAF podcast. I am one of your faithful co-hosts, Josiah Biggs. Today we are just doing a little quick cast here with our constant guest star, Matt Ferrugia. Say hello, Matthew.
Hello, Josiah. It's me, Matthew Ferrugia, the man with the man with terrible taste in animated children's movies.
Wow, what a great topic for us to start with. So we're going to jump around a couple subjects here, of course, because that's what we love to do. The thing is that we were talking a little bit earlier off the record about what we were doing this week, and I told Matt, I was going back into some old Don Bluth films, and kind of just reminiscing, getting that sweet nostalgia fix, shooting up that nostalgia. And I was watching An American Tail and The Secret of NIMH. And Matthew then told me that he didn't think he'd ever seen a Don Bluth film, in which I told him that's impossible. You grew up in North America. You had to have seen a Don Bluth film at one time or another. Doesn't matter if you were in America, Canada, or Mexico, you'd seen one.
No, just to give myself minimal points here, with all due respect, I have heard the name Don Bluth, so that's worth something, correct?
Correct, but the thing is that he was also a heavy load worker at Disney for a long time, and he actually broke away from Disney after they kind of started to stray away from traditional animation. Of course, this was in the early to mid 80s when they started starting to use computer generated more animation and effects instead of the traditional effects that he used in all his films. Oh, also another big one he made, Matt, is Anastasia, the one that everybody thinks is a Disney film, but it's actually a Don Bluth film.
Alright, cool.
You remember that? Had the cartoon bat and had Rasputin in it.
Anastasia.
Really dark and creepy. All of Don Bluth's films are almost all dark and creepy. That's why everybody remembers them so well and likes them, is that they have the amazing classic Disney animation and tons of great voice actors, but they are a little darker, a little bit more appropriate for all ages. Maybe make you think a little bit more than Disney films, especially ones of the time.
I am looking at Anastasia screenshots now, and this is another case of all that I can say is yes, I'm pretty sure I've seen this before. This does look like something that I had confused with a Disney film back when I was a lad, but the only one so far that I've looked at and went, yes, I remember this, was An American Tail. But
yes, because everybody and their dog has seen, in the Western world, has seen An American Tail.
Right. But apart from that, I'm more or less just coming up dry, buddy. I don't know what to tell you.
The funny thing is that people always forget about The Secret of NIMH. It's pretty niche, and it was the only one that did well in the box office. All the other ones did not do well in the box office. It's crazy.
That is.
And The Secret of NIMH went up against E.T. Freaking E.T.
That's probably the most iconic movie about an alien of all time. So, hey, fuck, that's pretty good. It's damn good.
And not only that, what else was in? I think Terminator. No, it wasn't Terminator 2. It was. What else was in the box office at the time? Gosh, I can't even remember. I remember it was E.T. and a couple other films, but it was the only animated feature that's coming out in the summer then. But still, I mean, it was up against summer blockbusters, and it doubled.
Oh yeah.
What the production cost was, so it made out with a pretty profit, to say the least. But
however, you mentioning T2 actually reminds me of something. Now, a lot of people would have scolded me for this, seeing as it's, from what I understand, easily the best. But T2 is actually the only one of the original Terminator trilogy that I have not seen.
Wait, you haven't seen Terminator?
I've seen.
You haven't seen the? You haven't seen the most important one?
I've seen Terminator 1. That's where it all starts, right?
Terminator 1 is just a movie that sets it up for Terminator 2.
Now, folks, if you rewind your audio just a tiny bit, you can hear the moment where Josiah's heart breaks in half.
Basically. Gee, Matthew, like, did your parents just like purposely abuse you? Because that's what I'm calling up like child services right now. I mean, seriously, it's just like, did they not make sure you watched all the good movies?
Well, like,
oh man,
movies. I didn't watch as many movies as quite a few kids. Like, specifically child movies. It wasn't until I became like a teenager or adult that I saw a few like Disney classics that everyone was like, "Oh man, you've got to see this! You've got to see this! It's so good." I vividly recall, like, I have like vivid memories of being like, I think 16, 17 years old, and seeing Beauty and the Beast for the first time. So you are talking to some.
Really?
I am many things, Josiah. I am many weird, twisted things, but a liar is not one of them. I'm not kidding, man. Like,
I know that, but I mean, Beauty and the Beast.
First time. Teenager. Beauty and the Beast.
Arguably one of the best Disney films of all time.
It was quite sweet. I did enjoy it.
Man, especially the music score. I mean, geez Louise, it's just... And of course, we're talking about the classic animated version, not the crappy real-life version that nobody wanted and they still made.
No, I went forward in time and saw that one. That's what I was talking about. No, like... I don't know, like... I have a wealth of video game knowledge, like, that reaches across pretty much, like, every genre, and I, like, traded in, like, movie time, like, time on the movie clock, so to speak, to get all that sweet, sweet video game experience. Because the way that my foolish young mind rationalized it is like, I can't really appreciate the subtleties, like, back then at least, of like being able to sit down and watch something with a lot of artistry and a lot of subtlety and just beauty crafted into it. Like the way that I thought back when I was a kid was, if I'm gonna get TV time, then what should I do? Should I do the thing where I watch what's on the TV, or do the thing where I control what's going on the TV? And that's the way that like I started and ended the entire thought process. So I just
let's start here.
Video games.
What were movies when you were young that were close to your heart? Let's just start there.
Yeah. All right. Big childhood movies like for me. Toy Story 1.
Okay, yeah. That's good. That's good. We're getting it.
Big old fan of Toy Story. So it's like. It wasn't that my childhood was like devoid of Disney or anything. Like, I still got some in there, but even then, mainly the DreamWorks era. So take that for what you will. What else did I love? Back when I was like relatively young, I saw V for Vendetta, which is probably still my favorite movie of all time, or at the very least, like way up there. So
okay, Matt.
I know.
Let me put some. Let's talk about 10 and younger.
I know,
here, okay?
Dude, I'm reaching, and I'm just like, what did I see back like before I became of age that like I loved back then? And
did you watch Finding Nemo? Like, you should have seen most of the Pixar films.
Oh yeah,
like even. Like, you know, I don't know how things work where you grew up, but I mean, even here where I lived in a moderate-sized city, there was still dollar theaters where our parents could go and pay 50 cents so we could go see the movie after it's been out for a month.
Right. No, like, I saw Finding Nemo. Finding Nemo was nice. Like, what else for DreamWorks? I'm gonna like boot up like the master list of Disney DreamWorks movies because like I think I need it.
You keep saying Disney DreamWorks, but I think you mean Pixar because DreamWorks is behind Shrek. Disney's a huge competitor of DreamWorks.
I am fucking up. You're right. However, like that's how like rusty and shitty my movie knowledge is like Disney and DreamWorks is all like melding into the same pot with me. But on that note, Shrek was also a relatively beloved child's classic for me. Because, hey, who at one point in their life didn't like Shrek? Alright, let's see. DreamWorks movies.
Again, I think you're thinking about Pixar.
I should be. I should be like, no, like at this point I'm reaching for anything that like I can say and you can be like, yeah, that was a kid's movie. You saw that, I'm sure.
Okay, let me just start shotgunning them to you then, because that might just be easier. Because I at least thought that you would have some recollection.
Oh, I love the Incredibles. The Incredibles was fantastic. It's still good.
Okay.
It's still good to this day.
That was probably around middle school, early middle school.
Close to that.
Yeah, so we're getting there. We're heading closer.
The first.
What about Bug's Life? Did you ever watch Bug's Life?
I did see A Bug's Life, but I recall like almost none of it. Like.
It's a Seven Samurai.
Right. Well, like they had to gather like food
Warriors.
for.
No, I'm not joking. That's part of the film, is gathering warriors to help them save their grain.
Right, they had to gather grain, and then like
the locust.
Like a protagonist man was like, I lost all the food, and the locust was like.
And the locust name is Chopper.
This is a good formula. I really like this. Like I want us to work with this in the future. Like Matt tries to recollect things, and Josiah is the straight man. Oh, this is good. This is a good formula that we've got going. To be serious though, I saw A Bug's Life once. I have forgotten almost all of it. I'm not joking about that. I saw Ratatouille, which was around my high school era, like early high school. So that was nice. Monsters Incorporated. I'm guessing you enjoyed it quite a lot.
Oh yes, it's one of my favorites.
Yeah, it's a good one. Cars. Cars is nice. Good old Mr. Lightning McQueen. Meow.
Owen Wilson doing his best at being Owen Wilson as a car.
Owen Wilson, just Owen Wilsoning it up.
Yeah.
Did you know that, I think I may have, I think it might have been on the podcast that I mentioned this for the first time. To the best of my knowledge, George Carlin's very last role in anything was that hippie van off of Cars 1.
I did not know that.
There you go. Learn something new every day.
Let's see. I pulled up a list here.
I have also.
Did you ever see The Lion King?
Oh shit! Yeah.
Aladdin.
I did see Lion King. Like
my favorite Disney.
I think once I saw Lion King, dude. Maybe twice. Maybe twice for that one.
How about Hercules? My favorite Disney film.
Oh, that's the one with the Zero to Hero song, right?
Yes.
Right.
And more importantly, it has freaking Danny DeVito in it, playing Danny DeVito.
The Satyr, right? The Satyr. I forget the name of Doug, or like Phil. Phil, I think, right? Phil.
Yeah, it's Phil. It's pronounced Satyr, not Satyr.
Please excuse me. I was not joking around when I guessed Doug. Like, all that was jumping inside of my head was like I recall like his little companion like having like a regular ass like Western name, Doug, some shit like that. So like no fuck, what else is there? Like, we've mentioned all the ones that I can remember of me seeing. Like Lion King was nice. I have not.
What about
have,
Hook? Let's go into some 3D. Let's go into some real people films. How about Hook?
Dude,
starring Robin Williams.
I don't think I've ever seen Hook.
Oh my gosh.
I don't think I've seen.
Shoot me in the face.
I don't think I've ever seen Snow White either. I haven't seen Snow White. I haven't seen Hook. Sleeping Beauty. Yeah. I saw Sleeping Beauty once. Once I saw that.
What about The Pagemaster?
What the fuck is The Pagemaster?
Oh my gosh, it's the most 90s film ever made for children. Oh my gosh.
Wait, is that the one with the horse that drowns in the swamp?
No, that's Neverending Story.
Because I have seen Neverending Story.
No, The Pagemaster was another Macaulay Culkin film, besides the one that came out earlier, which was Home Alone. The Pagemaster is this kid who gets chased by bullies, and so he goes to hide in the library like he usually does, and
right.
he falls asleep there, and then all the books start coming to life, and then he falls into certain books, and he has to rescue, and he has to defeat the evil in the library to become the Pagemaster. And it's half in real time. It's half 3D, and the other half animated.
I did see Sharkboy and Lavagirl.
Gosh. What about The Blank Check?
That's a good.
Did you see
movie.
Jumanji?
It's a good kids movie, man. Well, actually,
No, it's not.
It's not that good in terms of like actual quality.
It's not very good, and it's not a kids movie either. It's more of like an angsty teen type. Not really. Angsty is probably not the best word. Maybe a confused.
That's fair. Okay, I'll give Sharkboy and Lavagirl that. Jumanji, I did see, so thank you for reminding me of that. I did.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
What about A Blank Check?
What?
Another famous Disney film, Blank Check.
Dude, you've lost me again. I don't even know what
Poor kid, okay? Kid from a lower middle class family goes to a birthday party. They have all these carnival rides and this and that. It's in a small theme park somewhere, probably in California. And all his friends get money from their parents. He doesn't get enough money from his parents. He only gets to go on a couple rides, and all the other kids are having fun and making fun of him because he's poor.
Yeah, fuck those poor kids. Fuck them.
Mm-hmm. And then, so eventually he goes back and he's riding his bike, and some rich butthole runs over his bike with his car and writes him a check for it, but forgets to fill out how much money the check is for.
Oh boy.
Turns out this guy, so the kid searches this guy. Turns out this guy's a millionaire.
Yeah.
Like multi-millionaire. And so he writes out the check for $1 million and goes and cashes it at the bank. Buys himself his own mansion and starts living it up as some sort of heir to some royalty. And then invites the kids over and has a major party and shows them how terrible it feels to be in his shoes.
Is this the prequel to Richie Rich?
No.
Well, it should be.
Although Richie Rich, thank you for naming Richie Rich. That was also a big kids movie in the 90s.
Was it good?
Yes, it was.
Can't recall. Okay, good.
The sequels were not good, but the first one was good.
All that I can remember about Richie Rich is that scene when he's hanging out with his friends, and then like they just got off the roller coaster, and then he's like, "We should play tag next," and his friends are like, "Tag? Why would we play that?" And then they almost like kill the like groundskeeper on like ATVs, and that was funny for me. And that's the only scene that I remember of Richie Rich.
And he also has a catapult.
Okay, I cannot recall that.
And don't you remember they had a Mount Rushmore behind the house with his parents' faces on it?
Suck it, Kishimoto. We beat you to it.
But here's another great 90s film.
Okay.
Fern Gully. This is also a Don Bluth film. I always forget he's the one who does it.
Dude, I'm really sorry. I'm not joking at all. Like, you've lost me. What the fuck is like Fern Gully?
Look it up.
Fortunately, I do have Google up and going, which is how I've compiled this master list. But I'm gonna look up for screenshots of Fern Gully. Dude, just like the movies that I have watched have mainly been like action or comedy, like more adult focused movies, dude. I wish I had more to connect with you on here, but basically nothing.
What about Mulan? You remember watching Mulan when it first came out?
Mulan is the one about the female warrior that has to disguise herself as a man, correct?
Yes.
Yes, I've seen like at least a few scenes of that. Yeah.
Okay. What about Pocahontas?
So sorry, one sec. I'm looking at images of Fern Gully, and dude, I have less than nothing.
That's fine. It was more niche.
Okay.
It was big where I was, so. But,
Oh, Tim Curry was in it. Cool.
Yeah.
Pocahontas. All that I can remember is the face of the main protagonist and nothing else
John
about
Smith? Or no, the
woman.
The Count.
No,
Oh, protagonist. Oh, you mean Pocahontas?
Yes. Didn't you say Pocahontas?
Yes.
Yes, the one with the raccoon sidekick.
Yes.
Yes, her. Her face is all that I can remember of that movie, and that's it, dude.
What about Beethoven? You remember Beethoven?
That's the dog.
Yes, with the giant dog.
Yes. I have seen Beethoven. Like once, and it was... Oh, no, wait, no, hang on. I screwed this up. I had heard of Beethoven, and I had seen, Wishbone.
Airbud?
Wishbone.
That's a TV series.
I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry. I've got less than nothing for you. I want to contribute, but I've got Wishbone, and as far as talking dogs is concerned, that's all I had, man. That's the beginning and end of
Beethoven wasn't a talking dog.
He was a dog. I got close.
Yes, he was a dog. Now, did you ever see Airbud?
I'm sure I finished at least one movie. Because that dog played a bunch of sports, right? So there had to have...
No, he just played basketball. All the sequels are about other dogs playing other sports that were terrible, all straight to video.
Oh.
This one was the only one in theaters.
Okay.
The kid trained the dog.
Yeah.
He used pudding cups, and the dog would eat the pudding. And there was this kind of rapey clown that was trying to steal Airbud so he could put him in his act.
I don't recall the rapey clown. I'm kind of vague on that. But dog playing sports does jump out inside of my head. So
what about okay, let's try another dog movie. How about Homeward Bound?
Oh, I've heard the name before. I'm gonna...
2 dogs, a cat, they all talk, you hear their inner monologues.
Oh, no, wait!
They're trying to make it back home.
Not that one, but I have seen All Dogs Go to Heaven.
Okay, that's also a Don Bluth film.
I've seen a fucking Don Bluth film for sure, vividly. There we go. Josiah, I pulled it off. I'm not a total disappointment.
Okay. What about The Iron Giant? That was also a big kids movie.
The Iron Giant was, that's the one with the big mech.
Yes.
Well, maybe not technically on mech so much, but yeah, the one...
Well, we don't ever know we don't know where the giant came from.
The mystique, I'm sure, is part of the draw. The Iron Giant, I saw at least a few scenes of it. Probably saw the whole thing. Probably. Maybe not, though.
What about The Goonies? Did you watch The Goonies?
I have not seen The Goonies in its entirety, but I've seen enough bits and pieces to know what The Goonies is about. My little sister, ironically, has seen all of The Goonies. Not me.
All right. Well, have you seen any of the Ernest films, like Ernest Goes to Camp or Ernest Goes to Jail?
Scenes, bits and pieces. That's it. That's all I got.
See, I'm running out of things off just the top of my head.
I am looking up a list of just like kids movies in general to just feed you something here because I don't want to leave you out.
Little Mermaid.
I've seen the part where the song is like under the sea, down where it's better. It's always. Oh no, wait, I fucked up those two lines. Down where it's wetter,
it's wetter, it's always better.
Under the sea.
What about Muppet? Speaking of Tim Curry earlier, what about Muppet Treasure Island?
I've seen, like, I know what the Muppets are.
Yes.
But I have not seen specifically Muppet Treasure Island. No.
They're probably the best Muppet film.
Even better than, like, the modern reboot, like, Muppets movie that came out a few years ago?
Now, Muppets Reloaded was actually a really funny film, and that's where you get the whole good Kermit, evil Kermit meme.
Oh, okay. That's a good meme.
It was a really good film, actually. Actually, a lot of the newer Muppet films are really well done, so I'm very happy about that. They're not as popular as the old Muppets, but I think it's just because the audience has changed. But no, I mean, almost all the newer ones are amazing, so you should definitely check those out if you have a chance. What about Inspector Gadget, the one with Matthew Broderick?
I saw the live-action one back when I was a kid. Yeah. But I saw a lot more of the cartoon.
Yeah.
I've seen... I saw it just a second ago. I've seen a fair bit of... Well, this isn't technically a movie, but this is me you're dealing with, so we already need to scrape the bottom of the barrel. I was a fan of Winnie the Pooh back when I was a kid. So there's some...
Okay, they're Winnie the Pooh films. That's close enough.
What else?
How about Disney's Tarzan? Those in the 90s.
Tarzan, bits and pieces. I think I saw Dr. Dolittle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Dr. Dolittle. That's
a good kids movie.
We get somewhere.
The original Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory was.
Okay,
was
so the Gene
good.
Wilder version.
Oh yes.
Yeah, the best one. Rest his soul.
Rest his soul.
So what? I mean, obviously you weren't so much of a movie guy, so you watched TV. What sort of kids' TV shows did you watch?
Every Saturday morning down at the crack of dawn, or relatively speaking, I went down to the living room at the crack of dawn to always catch Digimon. Always got to catch me some Digimon.
Okay.
Yeah. Like loyally, like fucking loyally, all the way, like pretty much like the whole generic package of the Digidestin, getting to come to understand their Digimon, like all the way up to War Greymon first showing up, like the Mega evolution. So like pretty much the whole standard, beginning to the Myotis Monarch. Like I at least got solid amounts of. So I was very loyal to Digimon. So that was my jam. That was always a good time. Pretty much just as much Pokemon as well.
I mean, because I know the programming was a little bit different in Canada, especially as far as kids shows go. I mean, did you ever watch anything like Franklin, or?
The only thing about Franklin that vividly sticks out inside of my head is like the episode of Franklin and the computer game, where Franklin becomes so obsessed with gaming that he gives up his social life temporarily, and and like the reason that stuck with me is because like I could relate quite a bit, but like beyond that one exact episode, I can't remember any of Franklin.
What about like Arthur? Did you watch Arthur?
I watched like a fair bit of Arthur, like enough to like get the general synopsis of what it was trying to be. That one with the bear and all his friends, that wasn't Winnie the Pooh.
Oh, wait, are you talking about Rupert? Or the brown bear?
Yeah. Oh no, wait. Fuck. I'm gonna do.
Because there's Little Bear and then there's Rupert.
I'm gonna do a screenshot quick. No, wait, sorry. I fucked it up. I'm looking at Rupert now, and no, it wasn't this. It was the little brown bear.
It was called Little Bear.
Little Bear, yeah. That's one. Sorry. Little Bear. I also enjoyed back when I was a kid. This has been a very nice podcast so far. It's been very nice and wholesome. Good old wholesome family-friendly podcast. Yeah, Little Bear was cool. That was always nice. But to be honest with you, probably my most vivid cinema memories back when I was a kid, Josiah, was like going to see each Harry Potter movie. Like back when I was a kid and a teenager, because I kept up with both the movies and the books. Big ol' Harry Potter nerd. So that's like the one that's like, this was the number one thing, like going to the movies as like a kid. That's what I got for you, man.
I'm actually surprised that you didn't see Rupert, because that was actually made and produced in Canada.
Yeah, you would think, like, if anyone, I would be the one that was more connected to that, but, like, I ain't got nothing, man. Dude, when, like, my friends were off, like, indulging in fun, wholesome kids' movies, I was, like, I was playing Doom. Like, that was my childhood upbringing. Like, I learned life lessons, like, not from Snow White or Sleeping Beauty, like, from being Doom Guy, man. Shooting up some barons of hell. Those are my childhood memories, man. Those are what I got.
Now, the one, I'm going to go off in a little rant here.
Yes.
The one TV show I watched religiously when it came out was The Busy World of Richard Scarry. Now, this was on public broadcast. And man, oh man, was it just my jam. It was about a cat and his best friend, the earthworm. And I forget their names, but I don't ever remember. I always remember the name of the show because I always ask my mom, like, I was always asking her because, like, this came out, like, a couple years after, it came out a year after I was born, so I was always watching reruns.
Yeah.
But I'd watch them every single day. And I would always ask my mom, like, why is Richard scary? But it was The Busy World of Richard Scarry, because Richard Scarry was the animator.
Right.
And so... But...
No.
Because it had scary in its name, but it was a very nice, very bright lit show.
Right. When you first said it, I totally blanked. But now I'm looking at screenshots, and I'm like, yeah, I've seen this earthworm. I've seen this cat before. So now little tiny, flashes are coming back.
Now, another one that was actually produced in Canada, that was on public broadcast here in the States, was called Book Mice. And my best friend Steven and I can both vividly remember 2 episodes. And this show went on for 3 years. Yet, we can only find 1 episode on YouTube. It had 3 full seasons. We cannot find any data on it besides a couple screenshots, the opening song, and that 1 episode's on YouTube. It has been stricken from the internet. Even the IMDb page is almost completely blank. And it's like it fell off the face of the earth. Like, there's no DVDs, no copies. Nobody's talking about it in forums either.
And like, from what I'm seeing, from what there is online, which is very, very little, like, it's not like it even got axed, like, immediately. Like, there was 2 seasons of this. So like,
Well, it was part of another thing called the Magic Library, and then it was Book Mice was a spin-off of it. The Magic Library was like a variety show with a lot of little skits in it inside this library, and the Book Mice split off from that and actually became its own show.
I think I've seen a bit of the Magic Library, dude. Yes. I'm seeing it. I've seen a little bit of it, yeah. Beyond that, though, like, once again, don't have a whole lot for you, man.
But no, well, I wasn't expecting you to find, because I've talked to other people, you know, at my age that don't remember the show, and I remember it. I would watch it every single day, and I would talk to my friends at school about it every single day, and yet it's almost like it doesn't exist. Like there's just bare bones on the internet of it.
So like,
even like I even looked at like the BuzzFeed like quizzes where it's like these are like the 2090 kids shows that nobody remembers, and it's not even on those lists.
It's so unknown that even the people who are looking for unknown shit are like, what the fuck is the Book Mice?
Yeah, it's the most ridiculous thing, because like everything else I ever like remember from my childhood I could find, and then also there's one other thing from my childhood that I cannot find any record of online, and that is it was a TV movie, a Disney Channel original film, and it was about this little goblin and a ruby, and I remember it vividly because my brother and I wanted to watch it for like a week before. We kept seeing the commercials for it, and it was just like on the Disney Channel, you know, back when they were doing Disney movies, and it wasn't even like a movie, it was maybe like a short, you know, film or like an extended, you know, like TV thing, but it was only like, I don't even think it was like more than an hour, and my brother watched it. I was too scared to watch it because it had like this little like goblin demon thing, and it was red, and it was dancing around this ruby, and I remember it, and it came back to life or something like that, and this guy had to deal with it, or like I just remember bits and pieces from my memory, but I vividly remember the opening sequences to that little special,
right.
And I have literally gone on Yahoo Answers and cannot find, you know, it at all. People keep, you know, like leading me, oh, is it this or is it that? And I'm like, no, it's not that, you know, and because I can't remember the title, but it's not, you know, I just can't find it. I even done like Wikipedia searches of Disney Channel original skits or films from that time,
right? Yeah.
And gone down the list and looked at each individual description and not found it.
Yeah. Like, if I ever find something that seems like exactly that, then I'll see if I can give you a show. But if you wouldn't be able to find this, then there's no way that I could either. Wait a second. This was a big part of my childhood. I want to see if you watch this one. Are you familiar with Freaky Stories?
No, but I think it may have had an American counterpart though.
It might have. How about Bump in the Night?
No.
What else did I enjoy? Like Pokemon, Digimon, Bump in the Night, Freaky Stories. Like even back when I was a kid, I was already like influenced at like, of course.
Okay, that's why I never saw Freaky Stories, because it was on YTV. That was Canada exclusive, my friend.
Canada exclusive, then. Shit, then that would be no good.
Yeah, so there's no way I could have seen it.
Oh, dude. Like, the intro, the opening of Freaky Stories, like, is something that I will probably carry with me until the end of time. So it was just one of those ones for me. Again. What else is there? There has to be something here. So those are like what I could remember as far as like kids shows. Like, what about you? Like, what like Saturday morning cartoon were you like? Other than like apart from the ones that you mentioned, like, is there anything more that you were like, I've got to see it?
Well, as far as like little kid stuff, I remember when I was really young, like 3 or 4 years old, on Sundays they still had like Bozo the Clown. the TV show that they would play on Sunday mornings that we would wake up and watch. I don't know if they were old recordings or if they still had the shows up until the early 90s and stopped, or I don't exactly know because I was really young. But and I didn't really pay attention to how the kids dressed, and my memory can't stretch far that back.
Dude, I am looking at images of Bozo the Clown, and that is like the worst as far as like fear of clowns kind of shit is concerned, because he is way too fucking enthusiastic. That is...
Oh, he was great. Like, Bozo the Clown was just like... was it? No, it was like, Bozo the Bozo Show, or, gosh, I think it was Bozo Circus. I can't remember which one we watched.
I see an image here of a Bozo Circus, so you're probably thinking of that, yeah.
Okay, yeah, there was a Bozo between 1984 and 2001. Okay, so we watched new episodes of that. Okay, but no, that was a big one I watched. Another one was like the Rugrats and Zaboomafoo.
Yeah, Rugrats, right on. Yeah. So there was something else. Okay.
And Ooh, Scary Monsters. Nickelodeon was big when we were young. It was a lot better than it is now.
So I have heard that, yeah, that like obviously I'm not keeping up with what the channel's doing nowadays, but I have heard that the general understanding is that the channel is like a shadow of its former self.
Oh, another big one was Angry Beavers, and
did you ever watch Powerpuff Girls much?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Same.
Let's see, what of course watched Mr. Rogers when I was young, a whole bunch. Sesame Street, and let's see. What there was a couple other shows. Do you remember the old show Postcards from it's oh gosh, who's Arthur's best friend? Buster.
Buster, yeah.
Postcards from Buster. Do you remember that spin-off series where it would show Buster? It would have the voice actor dub over people going through experiences like throughout the world, and they like go and be like, "Oh, this is how like real Italian pizza's made," and Buster would be like, "Oh, I'm the one eating it," da da da, and just dub over someone like going the camera through the kitchen and everything like that.
That sounds very familiar, but like nothing solid is coming to my head. But like, I do recall that like something like that showed up at some point. Yeah.
What else there was? Gosh, I can't put.
Back when it like back when it was it's like most beloved. Did you jump on the hype train for Fairly Odd Parents?
Oh yeah. I was there for the beginning of that. I remember when SpongeBob premiered.
Same thing here. Oh yeah.
I remember that first episode like it was yesterday.
Both of those actually good fucking shows.
Oh, do you remember? Oh, well, it was sometimes some crimes go slipping through the cracks. Chip and Dale's Rescue Rangers.
I have the name Chip and Dale is very vivid for me, but I don't recall. It's like more than like
it had the best theme song. It was like Chip and Dale's Rescue Rangers. Chip and Dale's when there's danger. All the Disney shows had like the best like opening songs.
Oh yeah, that opening I have heard before, but I don't really have much for watching it. How about Tailspin?
Oh yeah. Oh yo, Tailspin. Oh yo, Tailspin. Oh yo, oh yo, oh yo, oh yo.
So I do have a childhood. There's something here we've got going on.
No, do you remember Tarzan the animated series though?
No, I do not.
It was the best, man. Like it was. Some of those episodes were as good as the movie. Oh my gosh, like it was great. And there was no Rosie O'Donnell. Even better.
What's your beef with Rosie?
You know they're remaking Roseanne, right?
What's Roseanne?
the reason Rosie O'Donnell's famous. The sitcom with her and John Goodman as husband and wife, and they're both sassy as hell.
That does sound like a solid '90s sitcom, but I'm not remembering anything about it.
Oh man.
Yeah. Just take me out with the rest of the trash. Just no more.
I'm just gonna perform an Old Yeller on you. Now I just know. I know that you had to be a Hey Arnold guy.
Ironically enough, Hey Arnold was like, it was cool like when it came out, but in hindsight I can't look back on it as a childhood classic, because whenever I see Arnold from Hey Arnold, all that I can think of is that kid's fucking head is so stupid. It's the stupidest goddamn thing in the world.
Yeah, but what about the time his grandma taught him karate and stole his bus pass back from that punk?
Nothing, dude. Nothing. I ain't got it.
Or the time that he rescued that sea turtle that was going to be put down at the aquarium.
Oh wait, I think I do remember an episode of like, maybe this was like a meme I saw of like him looking at like a sea turtle like through like a glass or something, and like it was captioned with, when you and like you've got like online friends that you're like super chill with, like a meme like that. I swear, of Harold and like a turtle. I did see that one.
Yeah. What about the time he became friends with Stoop Kid?
Snoop Kid?
Stoop Kid.
Stoop Kid.
The kid that always sat on the stoop.
No, dude. Nothing.
Not even Harold, huh?
Stoop Kid from Hey Arnold.
There's so many memes about Stoop Kid.
I do remember this character design. I do remember that. Like, I know the look, but like I remember nothing about him, dude.
Well, he didn't have to. He just sat on the stoop. He was like a homeless kid that sat on the stoop.
What amazing character development. What do you do?
It wasn't the fact that wasn't the character development. The fact is that you had to get to know him, and he would always chase kids off the stoop and like yell and like wave his arms and stuff.
All right, cool, right on.
And what about the downhill derby where they had what's his face, Eugene had the Mauve Avenger. It was a purple soapbox car that he had.
The Mauve Avenger.
Yeah, search it right now. It's the most important thing of your childhood, I promise.
Yeah. Everyone will fear the Mauve Avenger.
Yes. This is why this is the best show. Or the time that they tried that. What was it? They tried to have Eugene. Eugene was very unlucky. They tried to have him host him the best birthday party they could, and because none of his other ones went well, and somehow he single-handedly destroyed his own birthday party by tripping through the outdoor party that they had. Destroying a boombox and landing face first in the delicious chocolate cake.
Oh,
and everybody was just so tired of his shenanigans.
Yep.
That they didn't even want to help him anymore because the guy's a clumsy guy who just wouldn't stop staying positive.
Just leave him out to dry, man. We don't need this Mauve Avenger driving son of a bitch. He's very, very unnecessary. Oh man. What else? Like, there's got to be something here, dude. One sec. Other than that, like, shit in my childhood. Did you watch much of Jimmy Neutron?
Oh yeah, big. I watched the movie, dude. I wanted that RC car with Jimmy in it. I wanted everything. I mean, I watched a series like it was crack cocaine.
There you go. Like, in hindsight, like, the animation is not the most fun thing to look
Oh,
at
it does not
nowadays.
hold up well at all. But for the time, it was fine.
Oh yeah. Like I would go as far as saying that it was fairly good for its time, for what it was trying to be. But
Well, yeah, for a TV budget, it's really good.
yeah.
And they can crank out episodes.
I hope that you enjoy what I just sent you.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah, right.
That's gonna be the that's gonna be the cover for the episode.
Good. Smug fucking child. What else was good, man? Dude, it really was just mainly like a video game thing for me. I was very narrow-minded on, like, if I can't control the TV, like, my time is gonna be wasted. I was a shitty kid, Josiah. What can I say? Video games.
You got a lot of catching up to do, man.
Dude, one day I'm gonna have a son of my own, and my son's gonna be like, "Hey, Dad, what about the stuff that you liked when you were my age?"
No, I mean, yeah, there was plenty of great. I mean, we grew up in the amazing time where animation was, cheap and effective, and everybody was doing it. Did you know there was a Michael Jordan TV show? It was crazy.
Yeah.
Well, your silence gives me one thing, Matt, and that is that it's time for us to say goodbye. So from both you and me, have fun, folks. It was nice talking about childhood film and TV. Hope you guys tune in next time. Goodbye.